jump scare. Hello, everyone. I'm Bradford.
And I'm Bradford.
And this is Spooky Time with Bradford and Bradford. Bing! Today we are delving into the film The Descent. So grab your gear and get ready. All right, folks. So we're going to be talking about The Descent today. This is from the mid-2000s. And when did you hear it first? When did you first hear about this movie?
Well, everybody knows I'm a sham, and I get all my information from James A. Janice. I'm a fraud.
Have you seen? But you didn't watch the.
I didn't. I do this thing where I click on the new video,
okay.
and then I start watching.
We're talking about dead meat.
Dead meat's kill count.
The kill count.
And I start watching it, and if he's like, "I love this movie," and it's got a twist, I'm like, "Well, I guess I'm watching this movie."
Okay, so then you stop it and you don't watch all
I think I did that for Sinister, and I think I did that for this movie.
Okay, and I can see why he liked this movie, because this was an enjoyable thrill ride that is scary in a couple different ways. So let's get into it.
There's many plot and themes present in this movie, such as, therefore, plot and themes.
All right. Do you want me to talk about it first?
No, I can do it. I just wanted to talk like I'm writing it.
Just, make it a Mad Libs version where you fill in the blank later. The plot is, and the themes are.
I can do that voiceover for you if you want.
Yeah. Go for it.
Right now?
Yeah.
Oh, that's such a small increment of time for the plot. Ladies underground.
That's perfect. The plot is
ladies underground.
And the themes are
grief, overcoming things, and friendship.
That's good.
I guess it's not really about friendship. It's about friendship devolving.
Friendship is magic or friendship is tragic. I'm crying because the friends don't like each other. There's frenemies in this movie. It's sad.
This
and
movie,
allergies.
Let me tell you, spoiler alert.
Yes, we're giving away spoilers.
For every single one of our videos. It begins with three ladies in a boat. Because they're adventurers, and they, the main lady meets up after this adventure with her, I was going to say wife and kid, husband and child, and then they die. And then they die in a car crash.
The husband and child die.
They do.
Not everybody. The husband and
the husband and child die in a car crash from spiky poles.
Mm-hmm.
She wakes up in the
hospital.
She has a spooky waking dream, kind of, which I really like.
Yes, she's running.
She runs into her friend's arms.
Everything's going
finds
dark.
Out her whole entire family dies. Cut to 1 year later.
Mm-hmm. Is the friend that she runs to, is that Beth?
Yes,
Beth.
It was Beth.
So Beth is the nice one. Juno's the one that's cheating on her husband.
That's later in the plot, though. We find
But
out.
we knew that.
We knew
right?
for a long time.
You can tell from the look, like something's going on.
Yeah. Cut to 1 year later. There's a lot more ladies now.
There's two sisters.
There's two sisters. One's school. One's responsible.
And taller. The taller one's responsible.
Yes.
Right?
Holly.
Don't trust the short
Holly
sister.
has short hair, and she likes
Holly's
the
like
thrill of it.
a jock.
Don't all they like the thrill of it? But she's like more.
She's
intense.
more of like, I want to go into a tough cave.
I want to die.
This cave's a tourist trap.
That's
That's Holly, right?
So they all meet up. Holly and Juno are like, the cave that we're gonna go to sucks because it's easy.
It's so easy.
And Juno's like, don't worry. I think it'll still be fun.
Juno, I want a level 800 cave, and we're going to a level 1.5. Oh, you're winking at me. Oh, we're going to do a different cave. Is that what we're doing? Oh, do we tell the other people? No. Oh, so they don't know that we're going into a death trap. All right, I'm on board for that.
So that's what happens. They hike up to this cave. They instantly rappel down, which seems like not a beginner thing to do.
Okay.
The whole time we didn't know. You don't know as the audience that they switched the cave.
We do see that she throws the book into the glove box.
Right.
So from that, my thought was, oh, she's just being arrogant, and they're going to get lost in the cave that that they intended to go to.
Yeah. I thought it was gonna be the original cave, and they get lost, and like maybe they go into like an unknown section.
So do you remember how we spent a lot of the first half of the movie?
We're like,
this is not a level 1 cave. It's like,
because they get to the cave. The first thing they do to get into the cave is like rappel down because you can't walk into it.
And they find the cave in the middle of the wilderness with
it's just like an opening in the ground.
Yeah, like the earth has collapsed in on this cave recently, and I think that's what happened.
Yeah, so it instantly gets harder. After they rappel down, they just crawl into the earth, like straight down.
I know,
like,
they're
very cramped all of a sudden. And they take the ropes off.
Yeah, instead Juno's like, all right, the only way down is through this little hole.
Which she doesn't know that there's an exit.
I know. She's just very confident because
she's like, Kate, she's got 2 ways out, right?
She's got like, I got a light up. Look, there's a breeze.
Right.
We get through here.
Yeah, so we see
the breeze could be coming from a hole this big, but she's like, let's go.
Yeah, so they keep going down this very treacherous cave. Eventually Sarah, I think it's the main girl, Sarah, right?
Sarah's the main, yeah.
So
Sarah's the
they
main
get
character.
They get to an even harder portion where they like crawl through, basically go underwater, and it's like a really claustrophobic scene because she gets stuck and she's the last person to get through, and she gets stuck. She has to drop the rope back, and then it collapses.
So now there's no way back.
So they and that is when it's revealed to the whole entire group that this is an uncharted territory, and your friends killed you.
Basically betrayed their trust.
Yeah.
And taken them into an unexplored cave system.
And Juno's like, I wanted us to discover this together and name it. It's like, well,
maybe we'll name it after you, Sarah.
Maybe you should have gone to, I don't know, like 3 other beginner caves, gotten the hang of it, then gone to... There's like
women in the group who've never done this.
There's like 3 like really advanced people, I think.
Yeah.
And then all of them are like, yeah, we've done other outdoor activities, and we're good at those.
Do you remember which lady crosses? She's the first one to cross the cabin. She's like hooking it in. She was a boss.
That was a cool scene.
Yeah.
Yeah. So there's that scene, and then they start to discover old equipment, like 100 years old, in a cave painting. So it's like
people have been here before.
Really, yeah. People have been here before, but it's uncharted, so it means they've never made it out. And then Sarah this whole time has been hearing her daughter giggling.
Yes.
And then she sees a man. She just sees a man.
Creepy little golem, white golem man who's blind. And so that's like 60 minutes into the film, right?
Yes. And before that, they were like talking about this, like the dangers of climbing on their hike, and they were like, you could hallucinate.
Yes.
So they were like, don't even worry about it, Sarah, it's fine.
Yeah.
And then they
all get attacked.
And
all hell breaks loose.
Yeah, it's like this. The monster is basically human counterparts that evolved for caves instead of society.
Devolved. The Descent.
Do you think they devolved?
I think because the title is The Descent, and I think it's like wordplay.
But they descend into the cave.
I know, but I think mankind also descends.
You think like 1,000 people got stuck in this cave and then devolved? Because they have different traits from humans.
You think they're not? Well, they have
genetically
elf ears.
blind.
They have elf ears. Now, do you think that this species could ever see, like, if you go back in time long enough down there, ancestral change, they probably had eyes that could see.
Yeah, but they chose to live in caves,
they were living
so
in caves.
It didn't matter.
Gotcha. How many do you think are down there?
There's like a lot. I mean, logistically, in order to like evolve as a species and not die out, there'd have to be a lot.
I could suspend my disbelief in order to cross the chasm of this movie.
Wow. Anyways, everybody dies. Juno accidentally kills somebody. She doesn't tell anybody.
Beth,
Sarah,
the friend.
Yeah, Beth, who stays alive minutes after.
All of these,
I'm impressed. To the throat.
I'm impressed with all of these.
That is not a slow bleed out type of death.
Yeah, it seems
she's
like
just like
she's like, don't leave me.
Yeah, and then like
half hour later.
Yeah, 30 minutes later, she's like, Sarah, come over.
Hey, Sarah, I'm gonna tell you everything that happened.
She's like, don't trust Juno. She's like, great, and she's like, here's a necklace that your husband gave to this woman. She's like, oh.
The power of gossip helped her stay alive.
Yeah, and
30
then
minutes longer.
she's like, I guess I'll turn badass now.
Yeah.
And then jumps in a pool of blood, fights, kills, eventually meets back up with Juno, who's the last person standing because other things happen. So those are the last two people standing. They fight like 3 guys.
They kill off some of those creepers.
And then she just goes
whoosh. Yeah. Sarah.
She shows her the necklace. She's like, I know you cheated. And then she like whacks her little knee and leaves the knife in.
You did an excellent job describing the plot and touching upon the themes. What score would you give it?
I think the main qualm I have with it is that it's such a good slow-paced movie in that you don't feel like it's slow-paced, but it is because the monster is revealed an hour in.
Yeah. And it's only, what, hour and 35 minutes or so, right?
Yeah. And after the monster is revealed, it's just like, okay, we are going to be at 100% balls to the walls. We're going. This movie is full. Yeah. This is what it is now. And I would like
hope you got to know these characters, because we're not going to worry about character development after
I would like to see that slow paces continue after the reveal of the monster. I know it's like a monster and it's revealed. However, they could have like fought one as a group, but like they see the monster, they all split up. That's I'm gonna give it an 8.5.
8.5.
Pretty good, pretty good. You know what? I'm gonna give it a 9.
Gonna give it a 9?
Because it's unique.
I'm gonna give it a 9 as well. And that is mainly because not only did I enjoy the sequence of events, but I anticipated that everything that they were going to see that looked monstrous was going to be a hallucination. And so I was delighted that I was wrong. All right, acting and characterization. Yeah, so I guess I would have loved a little more distinct characterization of, I guess Holly had enough characterization. I wanted the sisters, I kind of like them, but I wanted to know a little bit more about them.
Yeah. Like their bond was palpable, but other than that, it was like...
Yeah. How did you feel when Sarah slams the pick into Juno's knee?
It was kind of cool, because at that point they were like 2 action heroes, you know? And it was like an interesting place for the scene to go.
Sure.
However, I don't think she deserved it.
So I think I'm going to give characterization, I'm going to give that an 8.5. Quite good, but I felt like I was missing something from the Juno-Sarah thing.
Yeah, I'm going to give it an 8 because it came into the thing
variety.
Just a little bit.
We got so many characters. Not as many characters.
Not as many characters, and they were more memorable, but it did start.
It's like, who are these guys? All right, setting and tone. I'll let you go first.
Setting tone. I talk a lot about the same things over and over again on this show, and I think the feeling of stuckness is a great way to go. And there's a lot of ways you can do that. And this movie said literal. So, you know, stuck in a cave with your friends who might not be your friends. I think that's a great setting. I really like the set as well as the setting. I think the caves are really well done. And the feeling of claustrophobia is like really relevant in a lot of, I guess, few scenes. But that first, like, I think you see them drilling in the background, and then there's just like a flashlight.
Then when the flashlight, like, Bradford was like, "What is that?" So what would you give setting and tone?
Setting and tone, I think I would give like a 9. The point off is from just circumstantially being in the 2000s. With like, because there was CGI.
That's not their fault. Okay, gotcha.
You know.
Gotcha. I'm going to give it a 9.5 because I really enjoyed that cave setting was spectacular. And there was something when she gets into the blood pool that was like, I get it. It's pretty climactic. Some
of it like goes from like, oh, we're scared to like, oh, we're in Mortal Kombat.
Yeah.
Where it's like just a pool of blood or like the.
Well, I kept thinking again. Here's what I wanted to know more about. These creatures, even though in humanoid form, seem to have like no culture. Like the only like
cultureless.
Yeah, they got bones.
They got no class.
They got bones that they've used every scrap of grizzle and
blood pool.
Maybe that's part. Maybe I shouldn't complain about the pool. It's like this is where we play. We didn't see any babies. We saw one lady.
We saw one lady.
No baby. Where the baby monsters? That would be scary. Well, now it's time to talk about visual effects and sound effects.
I talked about this with a little bit of setting tone, but this movie is in 2005, I think. So that was the era where filmmakers were like, you know, we should use computers.
Computers will solve everything.
But the computers were like, we're not ready yet. And they're like, you're gonna be. and so there's like points with, I think the thing I'm mostly thinking about is like the bats. Where it's like,
yeah.
It's like, that's a video game.
Overall, I kind of liked the weird white golem sort of creatures. So that makeup.
Yeah, I think the makeup was like, it reminded you of humans, but like there was like differences. Like they would have like eye droops and like.
Yes, you're right.
Like, I can't really remember the soundtrack or the sound effects. There's a lot of screeching.
There's some screeching.
Our dog did not like watching this movie.
Oh yeah, our dog was free. It jumped up on the couch between us, right?
Yeah.
And did not enjoy. Occasionally looked at the screen. She normally doesn't. Out of the 3 dogs we have, she will sometimes look at the TV screen and just sort of be like, and she would like look at it as like, no, I'm not gonna. She kind of like, I'm gonna look over here. Let me ask you this.
I have a thing to say.
Tell me your thing.
The gore.
That's what I was going to ask you about.
Ask me then.
Yeah. So the gore, is this your kind of gore?
It was a good type of gore. Obviously the thing is like, you know, I really like fantastical.
Thing. Yeah.
Fantastical practical effects, but these practical effects were really good. I think the thing that stands out to me is the compound fracture that Holly gets because she runs for some unknown reason through a cave and falls down a hole.
That's right. She was in such a hurry to fall down a hole.
Yeah. And the tensions like build up in that scene for no reason. They're like, yeah, we've been stuck, but we've been calm this whole entire time. And then all of a sudden they're like, where do we go? And then Holly's like,
light. I see light. They're like, it's not light. It's like, I'm not even going to respond to you. Keep running.
But before she sees light, she's sprinting.
Yeah.
Before she said anyway, but she gets her leg broken, and there's like, you know, a little bone sticking out. And at first I was like, that just looks like a normal leg, but with a bone instead of like.
Oh yeah.
But after they take off her pants, and there's like a kind of brutal scene where they just kind of shove the bone back in to splint it. And I think that was really effective. I like that part. Yeah, I'd give it I think an 8.5.
8.5. I'm also going to give it an 8.5.
This is scoring pretty high.
Yeah, it is. But it's got some B's in there. But it might still make an A. Let's find out with our last category, spookiness. Anyway, did this movie keep you tossing and turning at night? Did you think about this? Or did you just watch it and go like, yep, I'm done with that. It's not taking up any headspace in my dreams.
I would say halfway in between, in that I like checked the shower when I was going to the bathroom.
Oh, okay.
Which I do. Sometimes I do anyways.
Gotcha.
But you know, I was a little spooked after the movie, and I was like, "Whoa, I'm spooked."
I just
had a piece of sleep.
For me, I appreciated that, you know, that, like I said, the jump scare at the window. I think your spectrum is good, but I think you need a little more from like not scared to nightmares. I think right before nightmares is like you can't like, it's not easy for you to go to sleep because you're like thinking about it. So it was easy for you to go to sleep.
Yes.
Not easy for you to get in the shower.
I didn't get in the shower. I was just like.
Okay, you were just checking the shower.
Yeah, like when you turn a corner, you're like,
so
whoa.
Gotcha.
You know.
Yeah. All right. Anyway, I had nothing was lingering for me.
I was jumping.
You're jumping. Okay. I was sort of eerily fascinated with the idea of being stuck in caves. So
I wanted to go spelunking.
Oh, you wanted to go.
Every time something's whoa, is this claustrophobic? Whoa. And I'm like, yeah, that'd be fun.
Okay. This made me feel like I don't need to do that. I especially.
Well, we're going to a really easy level cave.
No, I don't trust you. So getting into any cave where you gotta like do this. So
and you can't turn around.
Yeah. So one of my favorite aspects about this movie is that before we meet the monsters, I already got the spookiest part, and it was when Sarah is scooting there, and she's stuck, and then her friend's calming her down. So that probably had a more lasting impact on me.
And it also had, this isn't related to spookiness. I think this like kind of themes.
Yeah.
But I think the best line in the movie was when she was like, because it was a really realistic dialogue between like a friend calming another friend down who's like in a panic attack, basically. And she said like, the worst thing has already happened to you, so why are you scared? Something like that. Yeah. And I thought that was like the best line in the movie because it kind of relates back to like the worst thing happening to her, where her husband and child dies. So it's like, it's cool.
So spookiness, I think I'm going to give it an 8.5. You know what? I'm going to be nice because, okay, here's the thing. I wanted to give it an 8.5 to be sort of like, oh, I'm tough and this movie didn't scare me that much. But the second jump scare that I didn't talk about, do you remember my second jump scare?
No.
It was at the very end of the movie where she's driven out.
Right.
She's already driven out of harm's way. She's the sole survivor, gets in the truck, drives like a crazy person,
and then pulls over. Because the whole time we were like, she's gonna get in a car crash and die, because that's what happens in the beginning of the
So she pulls over, so I'm like, and then a big truck goes by, it's like, wow, and it went, so because I got
scared even before the loud noise, because the truck was like in the back, like
I thought it was gonna run into it. So because of that reaction that I had, I feel like my tension must have been so ramped up that little horn honking truck driving scene made me jump scare.
Right.
Didn't make you jump scare. You had nerves of steel by the end of the film. So I think because of that, I'm going to give it a 9.
Nice. I think I was going to give it a 7 before that whole spiel, but I'll give it an 8.
Okay. So not as scary for you, mainly because it's just like, it's monsters in a cave.
I think the thing that I'm looking for with scariness is like not jump scares, or like even at like being scared after the fact, maybe a little bit. But I think with the ritual, it's like this. I think it's the setting and tone for me that has to be perfect.
Gotcha.
And I'm like, you know.
Yeah. All right.
It has to be like this perfect circumstance of like that makes my brain like.
Oh.
Yeah. Ominous.
I did feel like this was a nice companion piece to the ritual.
Yeah.
Right? Because it's out in nature.
Adventure.
It's a grief adventure. Ritual has like, hey, we're all dudes and we're friends. And this is like, hey, we're all cool,
and they have
cool spelunker girls and we're friends. Yeah. Okay, now it's time to add up the numbers. 8.5. Here, you do it. So I see. Yeah. That's why Bradford's a smart math person.
Because I have a good calculator?
I just word things. 87. All right, 87%. So the Descent gets a B+. Pretty good. Yeah, I liked it.
Yeah.
I liked it. Again, especially because I thought...
If it comes in off stars, gets a little extra credit, that could be an A-.
That's right. Would you watch the Descent Part 2?
I would watch the Descent Part 2. It might be bad.
It's probably bad. So the announcement that I have for our studio audience is that we are going to watch... This
isn't a studio audience.
Well, it's like the people out there. It's not a studio, but I like calling them that because I grew up with the 80s.
Okay.
Where it says Happy Days was filmed in front of a live studio audience. Anyway, do you miss watching movies at the movie theater?
Yeah, a little bit.
I do too. So we're going to watch The Quiet Place Part 2. Is it or it's A Quiet Place? A Quiet Place?
A Quiet Place.
A Quiet Place. We're going to watch A Quiet Place Part 2. And we're going to watch it on the big screen. And I was thinking, do you think there are some movies that haven't gotten a fair shot with us because we watched it on TV? Where we can like talk, we can talk during the movie.
Oh, I get.
You know what
I
I mean?
don't know.
Because I know that I use humor as a defense mechanism.
Yeah.
And so I get to like, I'm not scared because I'm making fun of the things that are going on. But if I had to be quiet and it's on the big screen,
be quiet
at A Quiet Place, I'm wondering if if I would be scared more, like an Exorcist 3. That really scared me.
Is this doing for you?
I'm a little scared. Okay, that scared me. All right, I'm Bradford.
And I'm Bradford.
And this was Spooky Time with Bradford and Bradford.